It's that time of expansion again when we get the easiest way to make millions and millions of gold. It's also the easiest time of the expansion where you can lose millions and millions of gold. Today we are having a quick look at speculation, buying up stuff with the hopes of making a fortune when prices go sky high. The general theory goes that as the new raid and season hit, demand for a huge amount of materials, regents, enchants, gems, pretty much everything will go through the roof. Loads of players are getting new gear, especially on reset days, need everything new, demand is insane, so prices go crazy, right? Well, sort of. I've used this chart multiple times on the channel before, basically to show how supply and demand affects prices. Demand goes up, supply stays the same, so prices will go up. So we stockpile now and sell when the prices go insane, and it's the quickest and easiest way to make millions and millions of gold, right? Let's have a quick look at glowing Titan orbs from Dragonflight. These were used in the weapon enchants and a few other bits from the expansion as well. The blue line is the price. This is sold on the region-wide auction house, so this is the price across the entire US. The red line is the amount of them available on the auction house. You can see here on the run-up to the release of Dragonflight Season 1 on the 13th of December, these were selling for around 4,000 gold each. The season gets released, and by the weekend they're up to almost 10,000 gold each. Therefore, if you'd have put all your gold into stocking up on glowing Titan orbs, you could have potentially over doubled your gold. Not bad for an investment for a few days. A similar thing happened on the release of Season 2, which came out on the 9th of May 2023. You can see here the blue line, the price goes through the roof again as the season gets released. In the days leading up to the release of the season, the price is hovering around the 300 gold mark. It soon flies past 600 gold and is at almost 800 gold at times. Once again, another really quick and easy way to over double your gold. Obviously completely foolproof. Let's have a look at the release of Season 3 on the 14th of November 2023. On the lead up to the season, we are once again around the 300 gold mark, like we were in Season 2. But then as the season released, the price drops. In fact, over the next couple of weeks, the price ends up at 150G, half of what it was before. So the season is released and demand has gone through the roof. So why was the price halved? Well, the key here is the red line. So that's the number of these available on the auction house. You can see that the amount posted on the auction house goes absolutely insane. There's like a 400% increase in the number posted. Obviously, there was a large number of people who had been saving these for the price increase when the season released, and they dumped their stock expecting a price increase. From here, it clearly demonstrates that price isn't determined only by demand, it's determined by the difference between supply and demand. An increase in demand makes absolutely no difference to price if supply is increased by the same amount. Even worse for investors, even if demand increases, if supply increases by even more, then the price will drop, as we saw with the Titan orbs and the Season 3 release in Dragonflight. What about investments in the war within expansion then, especially with Season 1 releasing soon? Profaned tinderboxes in particular are a hugely speculated on investment that's going to make everyone rich when the season releases, or so they say. Tinderboxes are not some big secret. The gold making community has known for months that these are going to be the bottleneck from the beta. People have been stockpiling these since day one of the expansion release. That being said, demand for these is definitely going to be going up when the season does come around. So one quick question for you then. How many of these do I have in my warband bank? Yeah, it's absolutely impossible for anyone to know how many of these are being hidden away, waiting for the release of the new season. In fact, I've seen several screenshots of people holding back huge quantities of these, waiting for the season release. The truth is, no one actually knows. The second factor is the current price. They're around 8,000 gold in the US, but is this reflective of their value? It's really easy to go to the auction house, look at the 8,000 gold and think that supply and demand have dictated that this is worth 8,000 gold. The issue is that players are buying these up for investments is actually going to push up the price. We will never know what the price would have been if players had just been naturally left to buy and sell these without the interference from investments pumping up the price. Now you could say that it doesn't matter what the natural price of these would be as long as they keep selling. This is true. The issue is that sooner or later these players do need to sell their stockpiled investments, and the price will always head towards whatever the natural price would be without any interference with it. Anyone who has done any sort of market reset or anything like that knows this. Tinderboxes are 8,000 gold on the US auction house and they are selling at the moment. The point is that no one knows how under or overvalued these are at the moment and what the supply into the market is going to be like in reset. There is another factor which is much scarier. Blizzard can nerf and buff drop rates whenever they want to if they feel like it's causing an issue in the economy. You may think that this would never happen, but this is exactly what happened with the glowing Titan orbs in Dragonflight. They were sitting at around 8,000 gold, making enchants for players expensive. Is any of this sounding familiar? So Blizzard came in and buffed the drop rates. On Tuesday the 3rd of January 2023, they were sitting at around 9,000 gold each. By the weekend they were down to 1,000 gold each. Having all your gold tied up in something that loses close to 90% of its value over a few days must be so frustrating, and many players did lose millions and millions of gold from it. Overall, I think there's a reasonably high chance that we'll see an increase in price in the Tinderbox and many other things as well when the season does release, but nobody knows for sure. I'm looking at markets and I'm tempted myself, but the main point I want to get across in this video is to be careful, because keep an eye out. In a few weeks' time you're going to start seeing posts from people saying they lost XXX amount of gold, speculating on markets on the season release. This happens every single time we have a season. There are, however, lower risk ways that you can invest. For example, you could be buying the exact same item, but it's lower risk because you have a profit margin with a craft which can help cover any potential drops in value. Say you craft something with tinderboxes and you have a 30% profit margin. Well, now you feel much less exposed to the price of that particular item. Even if the price of tinderbox drops, you could still be crafting at a profit depending on how much of the craft value of the tinderbox is taking up. By having something to craft rather than just reselling something that you have bought, you have a little bit more time should anything go crazy with the market as well, like a buff in the drop rate. For example, if we go back and look when the Titan Orb drop rate was buffed, we saw a 90% drop in the price by the weekend. The enchants that used them as a crafting regent did drop by a similar price, but it was slower, so only dropping by 50% by the weekend. Also having the item and the crafted item, it does give you more things to sell should a panic selling situation occur. Overall, investing is risky business, especially if you're just trying to flip something and not just using it in a craft. Next week, tinderboxes in particular could well be way more expensive than they are today, but you just never know what's going to happen, especially with these short-term investments in WoW. Long-term investments in WoW is a completely different matter. It's much safer and it's how I make most of my gold, getting 5 to 10 times my investment back the majority of the time. I'm not going to cover it here as I already did a video about it last year. If you're interested in that video, you can see it linked in the top left at the moment. Thanks for watching guys, be careful with your gold and see you next time.